Welcome to Astrodology, the podcast that brings you knowledge, wisdom, and principles that can help you find the peace and comfort we all seek and deserve in our lives. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Astrodology with Astrid. I really hope whenever you hear this message, it brings some peace, some information that can really shift your mind, your heart, and your life. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really excited today because we're here to talk about this full flower moon in Scorpio. But before I kick off the talk about astrology, it's so important that I acknowledge what's happening this powerful weekend. Starting today, Mother's Day. This is a powerful Mother's Day weekend. Talk about energy. You know, everything in life is a form of energy, everything. So Mother's Day is an important thing because none of us would be here without having a mother. And whether she's alive or in your life today, it's important to mark Mother's Day. So today is Mother's Day. Happy Mexican Mother's Day. Over 100 years ago, a very famous journalist in 1922 said to Mexico, let's do a day to celebrate our own mothers. Let's create this for our country. Dia de las Madres. And so my wonderful son, in his phone, in his contacts, when I call him or text him, it pops up La Reina Madre. And I love it so much, the Queen Mother. And then tomorrow, Happy Mother's Day in the USA. It's always typically the second Sunday of the month for the USA, many European countries, including Austria. Also Canada and Australia follow this. South Africa, and then certain parts of Africa. But in Africa in general, March Mother's Day is celebrated, or either the last Sunday in May. So, oh my goodness, such a powerful day. I feel so blessed and fortunate to be a mother of two wonderful sons. I have friends that have wonderful children, and it's just truly, truly a blessing. I want to say happy Mother's Day to the fur mothers. Fur mothers are important. There are people that have mothered animals and pets. I just love animals. There are flower mothers, gardeners who have mothered plants and vegetable gardens. The farmers are mothers, whether they're male or female when you think about it. And also, just want to acknowledge that those that have been stepmothers is so important. I've had a powerful, beautiful, and amazing stepmom to my kids, my sons, Grace Kastenberg, just amazing. So to the stepmoms, to the foster moms who have really stepped in and played a role in children that were necessary, not their blood, adoptive moms, moms of all forms. I honor you, I thank you, and I may God richly bless us all as we go forward in this crazy year ahead. Also, happy birthday to my Tauruses. I realize on the new moon of Taurus, I did not say happy birthday. And once again, as you all know, I'm a little dense with certain signs. Sometimes I'm like, well, I don't really know that many people who are this sign or that sign. Thought the same thing about Taurus, but I will admit to, thank goodness for Facebook and social media, that I'm able to call up people that are Tauruses that I know that have been significant in my life or played a key role in my life. So happy birthday, first of all, to Debbie Penna. Oh, ma, she's a beautiful, beautiful woman and lady. Birthed my beautiful Amanda that I love so much. So happy birthday. Happy birthday to Heather Balderrama. Oh my gosh, she's just been such a goddess in my life. Alan Shearer. Now I'm calling out names, people that I haven't seen in years, that I used to work with in corporate that I love so much. Alan Shearer was one of them. Suzanne Walker. Vince, you know who you are. Just amazing souls that I got to work with. My cousin Marguerite Wilson. Oh, my second mother. Oh my God, mother from another planet. Carol Ferguson. Oh my gosh. My grandmother maiden name was Ferguson. So Ferguson is so important to me. So when I met Carol by dating her son, Chad, Oh my goodness, just an amazing soul in my life. I love you, Mama, in quotes. And then Haven, my new co-worker. Renee, my goddess in the light of everything yoga, spirituality, and light and love. Maria Humphreys, and my Uncle Harvey Harris. So blessings, blessings. And then finally, Alito, one of the most special Tauruses that I've ever met. Such a beautiful soul. When I look at all the Tauruses that I know, Taurus is an earth sign. So Taurus really holds the space. They really take up the space and ground it so that you feel comfortable. So as we talk about this full flower moon in Scorpio, we have to give note and highlight to Taurus, because Taurus, we're in Taurus season, and Taurus is the opposite sign of Scorpio. So whenever you talk about Scorpio, you got to think Taurus. Whenever you think about Taurus, you got to think Scorpio. They're the opposites attract. And when Scorpio and Taurus come together, it's a beautiful, beautiful combination. The Ferguson family, Mr. and Mrs. Ferguson, she's Taurus and he's Scorpio. And oh God, what a beautiful match it is. So they prove it out that opposites really do attract. So coming in this powerful weekend, so we got Mexican Mother's Day on today. We've got Mother's Day in the U.S. and around the country tomorrow. And then on the 12th, we come in with this full moon in Scorpio. Scorpio, my dear Scorpio. And I'm biased. Most of you probably know by now that I am Scorpio. Scorpio truly is the strongest sign in the zodiac. It's not about making it a competition. It's not about dissing any other signs. But Scorpio is considered the strongest because we are taxed with the very empowering and tough job of pushing the world towards transformation. That is one of the signatures of Scorpio. So coming in on Monday the 12th at 9:56 a.m. Pacific time. So we'll get this beautiful moon. I saw it last night. It's not even full yet, but she looks beautiful already, just a few days. So we're in the pre-shadow of this full moon. So Scorpio rules the 8th house of transformation, spirituality, rebirth, renewal, the occult, anything that's hidden, our hidden mind, our unconscious mind, our subconscious mind. So on Sunday, we'll have this beautiful moon lunation come in. It's happening, so the day reduces to, 5/12/2025 reduces to a 17, and that reduces to an 8. So we know that 8 is a very powerful number. It's a number of infinity and builder. And again, Scorpio rules the 8th house. So unbelievable. So the day, 12, 13, 14, 15, the day reduces down to the 8. So it's fantastic. So this event is known as the flower moon because as we see out in nature, we see the flowers starting to bloom. So there's a lot on deck to unpack today, and we'll just go through. I may jump around a bit, but we're going to get this message laid out. The ruling planet of Scorpio is Pluto, and Pluto is currently in retrograde. When a planet is in retrograde, it's considered like a cosmic standstill. It's not standing still, but it's moving so slow, it might as well be standing still. Retrogrades ask us to pause, to look back, to hold on, and to make sure that we're moving forward in a powerful way and an important way. This is fixed energy. Taurus is fixed energy, Scorpio is fixed energy, Aquarius and Leo, we are the fixed energy signs. So fixed energy is on deck. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But what I love about Scorpio, what I love about being a Scorpio is we are a water sign. When you think of water, water heals, water cleanses. And water is, water signs are the intuitive signs. So water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, we all are part of the healing in the zodiac sign. Scorpio helps us purge and get rid of anything that is old. And as a Scorpio, I'm talking to Scorpios, you know this. It's what is that term? If you know, you know. We are always having a death and a rebirth. That crashing into the ashes and rebirth. So because Pluto is our sign and that's what we do. So during Scorpio time, during Scorpio, this full moon in Scorpio, secrets get uncovered, but they're secrets that become jewels in our lives, things we've needed to know, information that we've needed to know. Because again, Scorpio rules the 8th house. This is the house of death. Oftentimes we say death, people get nervous, but whenever there comes a death of the ego, a death of the soul, a death of a mindset, a death of a relationship, death, rebirth, birth. So Scorpio is death, birth, rebirth. And this is continuing. But remember that water also heals. So Pluto moved into Aquarius, and Uranus is Aquarius home planet. So we got a lot of fixed energy. We got Aquarius energy on deck. So Taurus and Scorpio are fixed signs, and these two signs can stay the course. If you ever know a Taurus or a Scorpio, it's kind of like we go through a lot in life, but we stay the course. We pretty much, even if there's stoicism or quietness or Taurus and a lot of Scorpios are very introverted signs, they stay the course. This fixed element in Scorpio is not as rigid as it is in Taurus. Taurus, I think, of the fixed signs is the most rigid, but Scorpio is a little more fluid. So the idea is when you have Scorpio in your chart, I believe that Scorpio moon and Scorpio risings are actually tougher placements than being a Scorpio sun like I am. So if you don't want to see the truth in life, don't have a Scorpio in your life. Scorpios can dish it out, but they can also take it. They can also take it. And this is considered one of the most intense moons of the year because it will put pressure. Scorpio is here to put pressure. It's here to make us uncomfortable. It's here to shake up the earth a bit. So if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable even leading into this moon, that is why. It puts pressure on our relationships, on our commitments, and it puts pressure on ourselves. So here's the time that if there's an issue or something you haven't been dealing with that's piled up, it will finally lead to a turning point because Scorpio is here to release and clear it. And that's the role of full moons. Full moons are about releasing and letting go. This is a time to draw those boundaries, and it's going to force us to decide where our true loyalties really lie. We don't have time to waste any more time. So now is the time to acknowledge your own limits when it comes to certain people, agendas, and processes. You know, what are you doing with your life? So the in and out, this will be totally in and out. You'll feel turned inside out to a bit, but somebody's got to do it in the zodiac. We can't have all sunshine and rainbows all the time only. So the idea is to be realistic about where you are and your circumstances in this time. But grant yourself permission to finally let go. We're in May, and I'm never one to say give up on a dream or an idea. And I'm probably talking about this because I'm facing the same thing. There's some dreams, some ideation, some things I've been wanting to bring to fruition. They just are not happening. So it's time for me to just let them go. But it's okay because there's other things that I can hone in and focus on. So there's a harsh square that's happening during this full moon between Mercury and Pluto. You know, so the planet of transformation and the planet of communication, which is Mercury. So it can, it doesn't have to. This is what I love about astrology. It can bring about conflict, but all conflict isn't bad. We have to remember that we need the conflict in order to have the harmony. Differing of opinions and points of view will be very tough during this time, you know, especially when you talk about money, because Taurus is on deck, or political ideologies. You know, just watching social media and the news and the internet, we're in a very tough political time right now. So we want to tread carefully when it comes to discussing current events, because the energy will be more highly emotional and sensitive as usual. So debating with those who oppose your beliefs could lead to a lot of drama. So act in your own interest. You know, the theory of being quiet, staying quiet if you don't have anything good to say. But focus back on yourself. I've been talking about this all year long. Focus on grounding and supporting yourself, because that's what Taurus and Scorpio are famous for. Scorpio works on their own transformation self first, very contemplative. Sometimes Scorpio is considered brooding and people feel like, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? But Scorpio is like going internal to correct themselves first. So if a Scorpio calls you out on something, you can best believe they've thought about it. They're working on it for themselves. So while this is happening, Uranus is close to Taurus. So you'll have calm feelings and all of that as well. So though the energy can feel a little bit shaky, or like you're being a salad dressing being shaken up, there's also a lot to celebrate because of Taurus season. Taurus is about money. It's about abundance. It'll be easier to actualize things during this month of May and finally bring forth that period of adjustment to get on track to where you want it to be. Start to celebrate what you've already done that led to the milestones, and just keep preparing yourself because there's a lot of work ahead. We have to strengthen our own containers in order to make progress as we go forward. So give yourself a moment during this month of May. I love the month of May because it's so powerful. Just to reclaim your balance, make the fine-tunements and adjustments that you need to do. And remember that because of Scorpio's here to remind us that personal transformation and evolution is always ongoing. We're never done. As Steph Curry, the basketball player, says, I love him so much, enjoy the journey. So the significance of the full moon, it's always an intense time of emotional reckoning. So full moon's about letting go. So the significance of Scorpio is encouraging you to confront hidden truths and release what no longer serves you. Like, who doesn't want to let go of excess baggage? So this time we're talking about deep introspection so you can let go of and shed emotional baggage. This will facilitate a high level of transformation. Sometimes it's going to have to come through confrontation of your own ideologies. It's going to be very cathartic because rebirth and emotional renewal are the result of doing it. In our dark sky, this time will act as a reminder that life is a beautiful, beautiful mystery. Albert Einstein always said that, why do we squash out mystery in life? Why do we have to feel like we have to understand and solve everything? It's only when we're able to just acknowledge that some things in our journey in life aren't going to be solved. Life is a beautiful mystery, and life is continually to create a web that's forever unfolding. So the Scorpio full moon holds the essence of transformation, and it's going to help us peel back layers that reveal our higher truth or a higher truth. And the universe has already helped us with these crazy, beautiful alignments in 2025. There have been many cosmic alignments that have encouraged us to transform over the last few months, not just with Scorpio. So while this energy is nothing new, we may find the energies of the Scorpio moon really assisting our metamorphosis. So Uranus, the planet known for change and upheaval, is very active under this May full moon in Scorpio. So when Uranus aligns with the full moon, we tend to get unsettled energy that can shake or rattle our core. But again, just around the corner, things will turn out better because Uranus is famous for to turn things upside on its head to give you the clearest vantage point. Kind of like, are you sure? Are you sure? So the question right now is, how do you want to contribute to the collective? Because your energy, your heart, your mind, your soul are very needed, especially here in the United States. So the answers that you call in will begin to flower and bloom with the new moon in Gemini that's coming in at the end of this month. It's also time to accept yourself for the full richness of you. So take time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So in order to achieve greater and greater manifestation, we must nurture ourselves and have compassion for ourselves. Can I say that one more time? You must, and Scorpio is here to help us. So is Taurus, because Taurus is connected to the earth. Intuition reigns supreme with Taurus and Scorpio. Sometimes it is why Scorpio or why Taurus is criticized as moving a little slower, because they truly connect. They're connected to other Mother Earth, their root chakra, where you give birth, where things take root, where seeds are planted. So remember not to rush the journey. The journey is the reason that we are here. So May has been a landmark month. There's an incredible, historic, epic month that no human has ever experienced on Earth. All of these planets are moving and changing signs. Like Saturn officially moved into Aries for the first time in 30 years. In 30 years. So Saturn is a planet, the taskmaster planet. Another thing that keeps us grounded. Neptune in Aries. For the first time, they have been together in hundreds of years. So unbelievable. So in May, Mars will be in Leo the entire month. So Leo reigns supreme, leadership, strength. Venus will be in Aries all month long, fire. So we got Leo and Aries, these two fire signs, bringing in the fiery energy of all this transformation. What does fire do? Fire transforms, it purges, it cleanses. So all of these are coming in at 1 degree of Aries. This is important because 1 degree is beginnings, leadership, newness, fresh opportunities. So what an incredible month that May is. Think abundance, grounding, transformation, and great change. So Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are changing signs and are coming in a compressed and compacted way. All are moving into fire and air signs. So again, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, changing signs. They're moving into air or fire. So think about it. Air fuels the fire. So we are on the tail end of leaving the age of Aquarius. I'm leaving the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. So there's no oppositions in the month of May, which is like, shh. There's no opposition. So these first 2 weeks of May should feel very, 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 very grounding. I came across a thought that says, if you could pull a track change or lever on one thing to divert the course of your destiny, what would that be? What would it take? What would it take for you to make that change? What is the micro adjustment that you could make? Hear the words, micro adjustment, not just a big sweeping change. Think of that and do that, because Mercury shifts into earthy Taurus by the week's end. And then during this time, it's best to address and plan those practicalities of your life. So May 4th, Pluto went retrograde. On May 10th, Mercury enters Taurus, today that I am recording this. May 10th, Mexican Mother's Day. May 11th, Mother's Day. May 12th, this full moon in Scorpio. May 20th, Gemini season, or 21st, I believe it is, comes on deck for Gemini season. May 24th, Saturn enters Aries for the first time since 1998. May 25th, Mercury enters Gemini, its own sign. And on the 26th, we'll have the new moon in Gemini. So Scorpio also is the house of work, partnerships, relationships. Scorpio is unbelievable. So Scorpio brings us the circle of life. When I think of this full moon in Scorpio, I think of a new era of our lives, because Neptune is so important. So it's a time to visualize, make vision boards, because it is all about money. So on May 6th, we had a very important day. Power, sex, money, secrets with Venus and Pluto. On May 17th, we'll have a Uranus Cazimi because there's a rare conjunction with Uranus. Uranus in Taurus will bring powerful energy the week of the 17th. So there's surprises, unexpected opportunities. So on the 12th, the full moon, you will see something on Monday that needs to come out, something that needs to come out. It'll let things be illuminated and trigger the north and south nodes. So what happens during, the idea is what happened during the new moon in Scorpio in 2024. You want to look back to that and see how that impacted. Where were you? What was happening? Because Pluto can take Mercury's energy to extremes. So like I said earlier, be mindful of the way you speak, but don't doubt yourself. On the 17th, we also have the Sun conjunct Uranus in Taurus. So this has to do with partnerships, legal matters, maybe marriage. Uranus is the great awakener. Again, shaking your routine up. You may have a surprise at work, things like that. So on the 20th, as the Sun moves into Gemini, it's kind of like the phoenix rising. It's like the caterpillar to butterfly moment that things are awakening and opening up quite nicely. So I heard a thought, and the tarot ship, I think it's tarot ship astrology, and he said that I love the thought. I love the thought. I'm not sure if he said it. No, my friend Greg Johnson actually said this. We were talking about some things going on in my life, and he was like, you are stable, but you're in the hospital. I love that quote. You're stable, but you're still maybe particularly in the hospital because, there's so many things happening that we need to heal. But it's a very healing time. Water signs are the birth givers. They are the life givers. They are the healers of the zodiac, because they're associated with our sacral energy where we give birth. So in celebration of Mother's Day this weekend, think about what you need to mother, what you need to nurture, who, what, when, why that you need to nurture. Because after air, water is the most significant element. Now, Scorpios are known for being mean or toxic, but that's actually the lowest vibration of Scorpio. Come on. This little scorpion that stings is only a small part of who we really are. Because remember, the phoenix that rises is the critical point of what Scorpio is. So this full moon will shine the light on our deepest and darkest secrets. And the phoenix rising from the ashes tells us that we all have the power to become the best versions of ourselves during this supermoon. This is a supermoon. It's not as potent as some of the other full moons, but it is super. So Taurus, thank you, Taurus. Taurus will bring the patience for us to take things slower. Taurus is governed by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, harmony, and relationships. This is a very psychic moon, and when you will just know things that you should not know, you'll feel like, how do I know this? And you can say, thank you, Scorpio. So this lunar energy is always at its highest peak during the full moon. And so the moon itself is already ruled by water, and being in the sign of Scorpio, it intensifies the energy and your intuition. So in closing, just remember, it's important that you take care of yourself. And by doing that, you connect with your heart and your third eye energy to really realize and come to the truth of what it is that you really want as we go forward in the rest of this year. It's a very important time to meditate. Put your hand on your heart, cast your eyes up to your third eye, and connect. So Scorpio is a complex sign, but Scorpio is damn beautiful energy. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of Astrology with Astrid. Remember, Scorpio represents death, but it represents soulfulness, and it can bring us back into calibration of our soul's calling. Scorpio is about rebirth and arising again and again and again. So what do you want to sustain for the long haul? Are you anchoring into the things that will actually sustain you? Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Don't forget, I am launching my new meditation. I am feeling so passionate about this. The circadian meditation reset. I've seen it transform people in my circadian rhythm yoga classes. So now I'm going to take it to my love of meditation. Sunday evenings, I'm going to be launching this on May 18th. That'll be the go time date. The first time we are on deck. Again, sliding scale. You pay what you can afford. You can find these classes on my website, codalife.com. Go to shop. You click on shop and you click on services, and then you should see, or I don't even think you have to click on services. You'll see the classes. You click on yoga and meditation tab and you will see, and you get to select from there. So I'll give more information right before we launch, but I am so excited because it's going to help you close out your weekend and prepare for the week ahead. Being connected to our circadian rhythm is vital. If you haven't checked out that episode, scroll back into my podcast and listen to the circadian rhythm and why it's so important. I'm sending you so much love and light. I really do love you because I just love human beings. I love people. I love life. And I love that you're taking a moment out of your time and day. I feel like an airline advertisement with all of the choices and all of the options. And truly, that's huge today that you chose to allow me the privilege to talk to you about astrology, my beloved science that I love so much. Namaste, namaste. And I'll catch you in the next episode of Astrology with Astrid. Take care. Thank you for listening to Astrodology. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support the podcast, please hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about it by sharing this program on social media. You can also follow me on Instagram at CodaLifeGoddess or at CodaLife.com. Coda is C-O-T-A, CodaLifeGoddess or CodaLife.com. Thank you again for listening to Astrology, and I'll see you next time.